Okay, you guys are welcome to NextCollege, and this is the third day of our introduction to HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And in our past class, we were able to talk about block elements, inline elements, tags, HTML elements as a whole. And in this class, we are going to still continue with some of those elements that we have not actually discussed so far. And some of them are very, very important. Okay, we have been talking about the body all this while, nothing about the head yet, apart from one thing, which is what the title. And in this class, we are going to take a look at those areas, the head, and also we are going to take a look at table when you come to what? When you come to HTML, how we can be able to make use of table. You must have seen some websites displaying things or items in what? In a table format. And be asking yourself, how is it being done? We are going to learn all those things. There is a tag called what? Called table in HTML. Okay, so if you learn about table, we are going to actually take a look at, just draw us back to some basic things in Excel or some things being taught in secondary school about rows and what and column. Okay, it's going to help us in this aspect of our yes.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, so I was asking, so do you want to ask a new question, or is the hand raised from the past question?
Well, it's from the past question.
All right, okay, so you can take down your hand, please. Okay, so I'll be sharing my screen now. Okay, then we'll just move into what is table and different part of table. Then from there, we can now come to our code and start implementing all this. So I'm sharing my screen now. All right, can you guys see my screen? Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is just to go to a whiteboard where I can be able to draw some things, which is going to help us to learn all this in perfectly fast. Now, when you come to what is a table? Now, this table is used most of the time to just render information in organized way. Information that are consistent, and they want to render it so people can actually see it and appreciate. No one needs to explain some things in a table. Just like you're going to check your results, all right? And it's always in table format. Maybe mathematics, English, chemistry, and thereabout. Start seeing your scores, okay, in all those rows that is mapping to a particular column. Or you register for a particular course, you can see name, course, email, then start in all the row, you start seeing people's entry, their name, the course they are taking, their email, and thereabout. Now, once you see a table, it's always self-explanatory compared to some other type of data organization. Okay. Now, how can we create a table? So basically, a table is just like a block this way. Okay. Let us say a block this way. So this is a table. Now, this table is meant to have what? Rows and column. At least 2 rows or at least 2 columns. Now, I'm going to start with a table of students in NextCollege, showing their name, their email, all right, and let me say their state, where they are coming from. How can I draw those lines? Now, I can now come here and just pick another line here. So once a line is running from up to down, all right, so that means what? That means is a column. A column runs from up to down, running vertically. That means that is a column. Now I can just draw 3 columns here. So first one, then pick another line and draw this one. All right. Now see what we have here. We have what? We have 3 columns and just 1 row. Okay, 3 columns. That is column 1, column 2, and column 3. Then in this column, we are going to now have, let me say, a row. The first row is going to be the heading showing those important information. Let me say the name, the email, and the state. Okay, so I can now draw a column always run for a row always run from what? From left to right. That is what? Horizontally. I can now draw what? A row. The first row is this. Okay, so this is what our table was, table row. Table row. So everything is table. Then this is what table row, and this is what table column. Then now everything we have inside here is going to be called what? Table data. So I can now come here, just pick a letter, enter it here, and just say name. Okay. Then here is going to be what? It's going to be email. Okay. Then here is going to be what? It's going to be states. Okay. Just keep that at the center. At the center. All right. We have name, we have email, and we have states. By nature, you are not expecting that any entry is going to be below this name, below this email, and below this state. That is what you have been seeing right from when you are staying in primary school. Your timetable, your exam timetable is always what? A table, basically. That means, okay, I have my first student. I want to enter the information of my first student. So what I'm going to do is just come here, pick a new line. I want to now create new what? New row. So I'm going to create a new row for this what? For this my student in particular. Now I'm just going to come here, draw this line. All right, because I want to enter for what? For a new student. Totally, this whole row is for what? Is for this new student. I want to enter his data. Okay. Now my first student is Chisom. Okay. Then what is her email? So her email is chisom@gmail.com. At gmail.com. Okay. Let me just drag it to center here. And then her state is probably Enugu State. I'll just pass Enugu. All right. Pick it up. Now you can now see that this particular row belongs to what? Belongs to Chisom. And once you come to this particular table, you don't need a professor to actually decipher all this information for you. You can easily infer that, okay, this actually is name of the student, which is what Chisom. Then, okay, this is her email. Then state is what? Is Enugu State. Okay, so this particular table is very, very important when you come to what programming as a whole, because it actually makes information easier for us to actually understand what is happening here. That means if now I want to enter another student in NextCollege what table, I have to start what? Creating another row for that particular student. Okay, now I want to enter for Emmanuel. Okay, now I'm going to pick a letter. The name is going to be Emmanuel. All right. Then his email is going to be Emmanuel@gmail.com. All right. Then the state is going to be Abuja. Abuja. All right. That means we have what? We have 2 students at NextCollege now. So I'm just going to make it 3 students so that our table can now look much more beautiful and presentable. Okay, so I'm just going to add what? Add another student, just our last student. Okay. Now, this is our last student. I can just pick letter. Let me call her Joy. Okay, Joy, and her email is joy@gmail.com. Joy@gmail.com. Then we'll now talk about what her state. Her state, let's just say Lagos. All right. That means we have what? We have 3 students at what? At NextCollege. And each student has what? The whole row. This is a row. From here to here is a row. From here to here is a row. And from here to here is a column. All right. So all the entry of a particular student is running from left to the right, from left to right, consuming the whole what? The whole row. So that is the reason why I want to make use of this escalator draw to actually give us a whiteboard overview on what table is talking about. It's always boiled down to what? Boiled down to column and what? Column and rows. Okay. Is there any question concerning this explanation before we move to our code? Any question at all?
Yes, I have a question, sir.
Okay, go on.
So what software did you use to create this table?
Okay, this is called escalator. You can browse it. Just escalator.com. Nothing much. Just start making use of it.
Yes, another question. Can I use Word for the table?
Can you use Word?
Yes.
Microsoft. Yes, you can make use of Word to create a table. It's possible.
Okay, sir.
All right. Okay, any other question, please? All right, okay. Another question. That means we can now move to our VS Code and now learn how we can translate this our knowledge now and put it into code and make use of our table tags. So I'm going to just minimize this and go back to our folder. Open it in my VS Code. All right. Now, before we even start working with our code today, I want us to install an extension. I promise you guys that we are going to install some important things which is going to make our life easier for us. We have been going to our folder, opening our file and running them in our Chrome browser, Safari, or any browser you are making use of by default. All right. And it's stressful. Always trying to refresh the browser once you make a change in your code. Trying to refresh the browser continuously. Just imagine if you are actually trying to create an application, a web application, or even mobile application. All of them is making use of VS Code to do all those things. How long you keep on refreshing just for you to see a change? It's going to be tiring. Okay, and it's a problem that needs to be solved. And thank God, it's already solved by some extension in our VS Code. And this is what we call live server. Now, how can we actually install an extension in our VS Code? It's very, very simple, not difficult at all. You see all this first column here, this first column you can see here, all right? Just come down to the last one. You will not have these extensions that I have here, these 2 extra icons here. Yours will be at this last part. Okay, so this is going to be the last thing in this particular column for you. And it's called what? It's called extensions. There are some extensions we'll be adding over the time as we keep on what? As we keep on learning. The reason being that just want life to be easier for us. Okay, just click on this extension. All right. Then here you are going to search for something. So just search for live what? Server. So once you type live here, it's going to bring out what? Live server for you here. Okay, by read week day. Now click on it. So once you click on it, you are going to see install, and something like that. Because now I've already installed it in my VS Code. Okay, so it's now showing me uninstall. But your own will be seeing install and install button. Click on install and it's going to what? Install. And make sure that you check what? This name, the weekday, live what? Live server. So once you're able to check it and it's matching, then you can go on and do what? And install. Once you are done installing, how do you know that you have actually installed? This button is now going to change to what? Uninstall. And again, you will see this icon in the down part of your VS Code, this icon here, which means click to what? To go live. Once you have seen this icon, that means we can now start running our application automatically without what? Us refreshing what? Our tab continuously. It does not make sense for us. Now, I'm just passing this information now because I wanted us to just have that muscle memory, even though it's stressing us initially, refreshing and thereabouts. Okay, over the time, we keep on learning things sequentially, small over the time. Okay, we're not jumping things the way it's meant to be. There are still some extensions that you are still going to do, what you are still going to install over the time. All right, now make sure you install this live server so that your life will be easier for you. Okay, I now remove this extension here. Now, how do I now start my application? Very simple. Just click on this go live. So once you open your HTML, all right, then click on what? Go live. Click on go live now. Now, in your own, initially, it's going to tell you, okay, give some permission. Just click on approve or thereabouts. Okay, automatically, your documents will be open immediately. Now, once I make any change here, automatically, I don't need to come back and start refreshing this my browser. Okay, any question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can go on, please.
Please, I don't know, how did you get this one you brought up now? Where did you get it from?
What do you ask, please?
This white background, where did you brought it out just now? From where did you click it so that you will not appear?
All right, I said that you are going to click here. Once we have installed that our live server, do you get that point?
Yes.
Okay, once you are done installing, all right. Now let me just key this thing. All right. Now it's not running again. Once you are done installing that live server, automatically you are going to see this icon here. You can see go live. Okay, this icon here. So once you see it, make sure you have opened that HTML page you want to work in, because sometimes you can have multiple HTML page. Open that HTML page you want to work in. All right. So I want to work on this HTML page. So it's now open. Now I want this particular page to go live. All right. So I'm just going to come down here, click on what? Go live.
Go live.
I'll click on it, automatically it goes live. Do you understand this?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay, so once we are live, you know, before, if you just make any change, you have to always come back and start refreshing and thereabout. Now, what I'm going to do is just to minimize this and also minimize this for our easy learning. All right, so minimize this and this. Okay, you can see I have hello world here. Now I want to change this to, let me say changed and save. So you can now see hello world changed immediately. I don't need to come back and start refreshing the browser as we have been doing so far. It was stressful. Okay, even though I know about live server back then, I just wanted to just make use of it that way. as if everybody is just starting afresh. All right, now we have learned how to actually install an extension. And this extension is just to make it easier for us in terms of what refreshing the web for us. Over the time, we are going to install more. When you start learning CSS, there are some ones you are going to install. All right, even JavaScript, React, TypeScript, and thereabouts. So this journey is a journey of 1 year, and we are just what? We are just starting. Every day, we are going to learn new things. That is the sweet thing about this life. Okay, you are here to acquire what? Knowledge and implement them. Every day, you will learn new things. And I always encourage you guys to join the class. Don't skip the class and say you're going to watch the YouTube. Yes, you can still watch it later. But once you keep on skipping class continuously, then from there now, your morale will drop. That is the truth. Your morale will drop. You not feel like continuing with the class any longer. Now, always make it a priority. By 7 p.m., you are joining class. No matter what, you are joining the class. Okay, from there now, your new year and this year as a whole is going to be much more better because you're now much more disciplined compared to how you used to be last year. All right, now we can just zoom in this our document so everyone can be able to see it. Okay, then collapse this. All right. Okay, we want to learn about table. I just remove this, but let me just use H3. We say NextCollege students. Okay, H3, NextCollege students info. Then save this. Okay. Now this is NextCollege what students info. Then how do we start creating our table? Let's go back to our drawing first. From there, we can easily infer on what we want to do. First, we want to create a table. And you guys can still remember how I said this our table. Initially, I just picked up this. Okay. Then let me remove this. Then I just drew a box. And this box, there is no row, there is no column, there is no information at all. All right. Now, this is just what? Table. And we can be able to do that in our HTML. I'm going to go back to our HTML now. Then pass a tag called table. Good. So this is our table. By just passing this tag, this means I'm telling HTML, see, I want to create a table. Okay. Now, if you come to our document, there is nothing like table there. Okay. Everything is still blank. Yes, it will be blank because there is no information yet. There is no row, there is no column, no information at all. Okay. Now, the first thing you have to do is that you are going to have that thinking or that mindset that even though here we have to create a line running from here to here, from here to here. Okay, which now demarcates our columns, saying that this is our column, this is our column, this is our column, and this is our name, email, and state. When you come to HTML, you don't have column like expressly. You don't have column. You have you have row. But your first row is going to define the amount of column you are going to have. Now, bear in mind, this also, even though this is a table head, okay, showing the information, even though it's not like the student name, but it's showing the format in which the other row should actually follow. But still yet, this is actually a row because it's running from left to right. The same way this one is running from left to right. The only difference that this is actually on top. Okay. Now, once you define a table in HTML, and the first row, which is always on the top, is going to be regarded as the table head. And the amount of information you pass there automatically, right, is going to be the amount of column you are going to have, like 1, 2, 3. Now, if I pass 3 information in our table row, I'm going to have 3 columns. If I pass 4, I'm going to have what? 4 column. Now, how do we create that table column, or sorry, table row in what? In our HTML. Now, going back to our HTML. Now, see what we have here. We have table, all right? Then the next thing is for us to say, oh, we want to now add what? A row to what? To our table, our first row. Now, we call it what? TR, which means table what? Table row. Then I now close it. Now, this my table row. That my table row is going to run from left to right here. All right? But this our table row have some data, okay? And they are called what? Table data. For this one, the data here is name, this one is email, and this one is what? Is state. All right? And that means you also need to add a table data in that our table row. Okay? Then now go back here. Then this our table row. I'm going to add what? Table data TD. All right? So the first one is going to be what? Name. Okay? Then another one, table data. Okay? Second one is going to be what? Email. Good. And then the next one, table data, is going to be what? Is going to be state. Then I can now what? I can now save this. So once I save this, let me just minimize this and go back to what we have here now. So see what we have here. We have name, we have email, and we have state. Now it's looking small. There is no beauty in it yet, and there is no line. Okay, in it. We are still going to add those things over the time. Okay, and when you now learn CSS very well, you can now learn how you use CSS to beautify all this perfectly fine. Okay, we have name, we have email, and we have what? State. By just using this our table, the first thing is table row, then now pass our table data. The data is those information, that is name, email, and what? And state. Can you guys see me? All right, okay. Is there any question so far concerning this table before we move on? Okay. Now we are able to add the first one, the first row. And this first row actually defines how many columns we are going to have. Because now we know that, okay, we have 3 columns, which is name. All right. Let me zoom this. Okay, which is name, email, and what? And states. All right. Okay. Name, email, and states. Which is almost the same thing with what we have here. Okay. Which is what? Our name, email, and state. Then the next thing is for us to start adding another table, what? Table row for our first student, which is what? Chison. So what are you going to do? You just come down here. The same thing we actually did here. We are going to repeat it again. Okay. So we are going to pass TR, table row, good, because we want to start a new what? A new row. Table row, then table data for the first what? First item, TD. The first item here is Chison. Okay, that is the name, Chison. Then TD, another data, table data. The next one is chison@gmail.com. All right. Then the next one, TD, is what? Enugu. That is this last information we have here. All right. I can now save this. So once I save this, I can now check what we have here. Now you can now see we have name, okay, which is Chisom, then email, chisom@gmail.com, then state is what? Is Enugu state. You may be asking yourself, I bet you don't have any line demarcating them. I'm just going to add something very simple quickly. All right. But when you now go to CSS, I'm going to learn more on how you can change the style of our line and thereabout. Don't want us to dive into CSS now. Okay, we are just learning about HTML tags and how we can be able to use some of the attributes. Okay, moving into CSS is going to be destabilizing for the meantime. So let's move sequentially. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I want to add border to this to this our table. Okay, I can just pass border, and border is going to be what? It's going to be 1 peso. Okay, so take a look at what we have now. Now you can be able to define that, oh, this is actually a table dividing everything based on based on their column or their cells. Just like I said before, when we move to CSS, we now start styling all these things, placing this email at the center and thereabout. But for the meantime, what you just need to know is that each row, table row we are defining here, is for what? Is for new entry. Okay, is for what? For new entry. And the first table row basically is going to be what? The table head. So this is table head. Why every other thing we have there is the table what? Table body. Okay, then we still come down here. You want to add another table row for for this student, which is Emmanuel. Okay, let's go down. Then add for what? Add for Emmanuel. You see, repeat ourselves again, passing table row. Then start adding those data. Table data. The name of the student is what? Emmanuel. Emmanuel. Okay. Under table data. Okay. The name of the email for Emmanuel is emmanuel@gmail.com. Then the last one is his state, table data. All right. Then what is his state? Is Abuja. And then I can now save this. Once I save this, you can see we have emmanuel@gmail.com. We have Abuja here. Okay. Then we'll now quickly move to the next one, which is us adding Joy. Okay, which is table row. Same thing, just repeat the same thing. Table row, table data. Her name is what? Is Joy. Okay. Another table data, joy@gmail.com, joy@gmail.com. Another table data, which is Lagos state. Good. You can see you have joy@gmail.com, and we have and we have Lagos. If you take a look at what we have here, we are going to notice something very consistent. Now, the size of this cell that we have here is dependent on the longest the longest one. Now, the longest one here is Emmanuel, right? And that is why all this space we have here, because of this Emmanuel. And the same thing to this email. This is why this particular space, this particular column is this big, because of Emmanuel again @gmail.com. Now, this our table, or each column adapts to the longest in terms of the character size in that particular column. That means if you have another column which is very, very long, all these ones we try to adjust by having extra spaces here, just to make sure everything is actually consistent the way it's actually meant to be. Okay, can you guys see any questions so far on this table? All right. That means there is no question on this table. Okay. Then the next thing for us to discuss is how can we actually now demarcate or show that this is not the same thing with all this thing here. We should actually make it bold at least. Well, coming to this our table, let me say coming to this our schedule. Now schedule, we can decide to, okay, we want to make this thing bold. You can click on this. Okay, let me just draw this a little bit. Okay, so I can just click on this. Then I can just make it large, okay, or by making it bold. One. Okay, make it bold. Good. Now, once you come to this table now, we are going to easily infer that this is the row, right? But it's defining the information of other rows that we have here. This is the main row, and it's called what? The table head automatically. Why this is called what? The table body. We also have what? Table footer. Sometimes you have to, you want to record, maybe it's a transaction. I want to have total. Okay, total. Just put it down here at the table footer. Now, what you're going to do, there should be a way in our own in which you can also make our data here to be bold. Once you just come to our site, you can easily infer that this actually is a table head. Okay, and how can we do that? It's very simple, nothing much difficult there. We are going to change some information here. Here you can see TD, which means table data. Okay, because we want this to be table head and not ordinary data. That means you're going to make use of TH, which means table head. So I'm just going to remove this D passage. Okay, bear in mind as you're removing, you also remove from the closing tag. Okay, passage. Okay, this also passage. Like I can save. So once I save, see what happened automatically. This moved to the center, and also this became bold. The reason being that HTML now understood that this is not just like ordinary row. Okay, that means I have to now treat this particular row as a table head. Automatically, it gives it this bold nature, and actually make sure that everything now placed in the center. All the character that we have here, or the text that we have here, is now placed in the center automatically. Okay, that is how you create table head. Okay, then we can still move forward and now decide to partition this our code the way it's meant to be. Because now you can't really come here and say, oh, this is actually the body, table body, and this is actually table head, and this is table footer. There is a way you can make use of code or HTML code to segment all these things. But once you come to your HTML code, easily you can be able to infer that, oh, this section is going to be table head. This section again is going to be table body, and this part is our table footer. Okay, and how are you going to do that? Very simple. I'm just going to remove this. I'm going to cut this. This is meant to be placed in our table head tag. Now I'm going to pass our tag here, which is called table T head. Okay, it's called T head. Then I'm going to just paste those code back again. Nothing actually changed. But once you come to our table, automatically this is our table. Then you notice that this is table head. Then inside our table head, you can see our table row. All right. Then all this information, Chisom, Emmanuel, and Joy. Very, very simple. We are going to also pass them into our table body. Okay. So cut all these things from here to here. All right, put it in our table body, and then cover it. Paste this, and that is just it. All right. Now, when you come here, you can see that we have our table, which is the parents or the grandparents at this particular time. Then you can now see table head. Everything about the table head is going to be under this table head. All right. Then move down. Everything about table body is going to be under this our table body. Can you guys hear me? Any question at all? Okay, can you guys hear me? Please confirm if you can hear me, please. All right, okay. Okay, that's good. That's good. And that is the way in which we are able to create our table. Even the table footer, you can still go ahead and say, oh, because in this our code, you don't really need the table footer. But I'm still going to show us how you can create a table footer. Okay, you can just come down here after a table body. Then we now have what? Table footer. Okay, TF. Okay, table foot. The same thing, you pass what? T row, table row, and password table what? Table data. Okay, the first one I can just pass all names. Okay. Next one, table data. I say all emails. Okay. Then the last one, table data, I can say all states. This is often used for calculation. No need for table data in this our own. Okay. Now you can now see you have our table data here. All names, all email, and all states. That means if like you are calculating something, okay, where you want to add up or sum or anything from the starting part of this column to the end. Okay, you can make use of table or table footer to actually do that. But if our own, you don't need it in this regard. Okay, but the main thing there is for you to understand that see what a segment called or a tag called what table foot. And by using this, you'll be able to organize your HTML to look good. So once I just come to HTML, I can easily look, this guy actually knows what he's doing or she is doing. You have your table, which is the grandparents, okay, or the other pattern. That is the table. Then the next thing we have here is the table head, which means this is information about what the table head itself. Then the next thing you have here is what the table body, okay, which is about Chisom, Emmanuel, and Joy. The main body of the table is going to be what's present here. Then the next thing we have here is what is a table table footer, right? Which you have all name, all email, and all states. Okay, and this is everything about what about our table. So is there any question concerning what we just discussed now about our table? Any question at all? All right, so I believe that you guys can be able to implement this, okay, before the next class, right? It's not going to be hard for you guys to implement this. All right, okay. That means, that being said, then we are going to move into the next thing we have. And the next thing is for us to take a look at our HTML head, just to take a look at it and modify some things. This class is not meant to last to 2 hours because we have actually covered a lot of tags. From next week, we'll be entering into what CSS, which another mentor will be handling you guys on CSS. It starts transferring all these things to something much more beautiful. Because now this is not just beautiful, this is just a structure. It's not beautiful at all. Then by that time, start seeing the beauty of of CSS. Now, can I go forward to our table table head? What we have this our table head is nothing much actually. It's nothing much. Looking at it, you just have title, which is what our document, which actually showed before in our title. Let me show it here, which is this document you are seeing here. You can change it to, let me say, NextCollege. NextCollege. Now I save this. So you can see NextCollege. Let me just expand it. You can see NextCollege here. Okay. When you're making use of that head is just showing more information about about the platform. But you can't see them in this white whole page. They are showing something about SEO, which is search engine optimization. Now, if you go to Google now and search NextCollege, even if you do not type nextcollege.dev, they are going to show you some platforms called NextCollege. That means Google is actually looking at some things in people's sites, okay, for search engine optimization. And it can be able to do to achieve that search engine optimization if really you don't know how to work with your head very, very well. Okay, I don't mean your normal anatomical head. I mean the head of your document. You should know how to work with it very, very well and twist it. And if I come to this place now and search NextCollege. NextCollege. Okay, see what's happened here. NextCollege is ranked first. Okay, out of other NextCollege platforms that we have a lot of them. Even before we actually launched, even the day we launched, we're not even seen in this first page. Okay, so that means the platform is really growing, and it's the right time for you to join, all right, and learn as quick as possible. Because this is the best platform for you to learn what full stack development within 1 year, and you are going to become job ready. You don't just teach how to write code and thereabouts. We also teach you how to position yourself to be ready even before we are done within this particular 1 year. And all these are tips that we give. Okay, it's not about just coding, it's about a lot of things that we actually offer. And this is a platform that you don't actually need to miss. Make sure you pay attention in this 1 month free class, then also continue with us when you are done with this 1 month. Okay, so we have NextCollege here. Then you can see another one, I have nextcollege.org. All right, all these things are NextCollege. Their name are called what? NextCollege. But ours is ranked what? First, because of how we are able to work with what our search engine optimization and some of our code. Okay, and all these things are things you'll be learning at NextCollege over the time. Okay, let's take a look at how we can be able to actually work on our head. In this our head, it's going to be easier for us to achieve all this. Okay, so let me just remove this. That means you'll not be able to see what you'll be doing, but you can just be able to imagine it. All right, we have our title here, and our title is NextCollege. Okay, then in this our title, after this our title, we have another thing called meta tags. Now the first one I can just pass meta. Okay, and the first one we talk about now is character set. When let me say, when computer was developed, most of the people that actually contributed in developing computer and all those things are the white men. Not just the white men, they are mostly those that speak English. So they were just focused on what? On English language, A, B, C, D, and thereabouts. But you have a lot of languages. You have Chinese language, you have French, you have Igbo, you have Hausa, Yoruba, many of them, and they do not focus on all those things. Even though most of us do not even really have our native writing, like Igbo now, you don't have like, let me say, how will I even put it? Let me an alphabet. You have alphabet for English, right? Writing style for English, which is alphabet, English and alphabet. Writing style for Chinese, I've forgotten that one. Writing style for Japanese, okay? Even though we still make use of English to write Igbo, which is still making use of C, combination of some things to use it to write Igbo, or write Yoruba, okay, or write Hausa. But still yet, we are still meant to consider some of those characters that we joined to form those things in Igbo. The same thing to Chinese. Totally is a different language. Now, those times they are just depending on English language. And then if you're trying to use computer and you want to type in Chinese latest stuff, it's not going to work because your computer will not recognize those things. And you not go deep into all those character, number, and thereabouts. It's when we move into JavaScript, then we start learning that this actually is a string, is a number, is a boolean, which is true and false. So we are going to enjoy our JavaScript class. That is when you really start going deep into programming. But the tag I'm putting here is for us to tell our browser that CO, we are supporting everything. We are supporting Chinese, we are supporting Japanese, anything at all that is text, we are supporting them. Okay, and that is what we call character set. So I can just pass our character set. And our character set is what? UTF-8. Okay. Now, once you pass this UTF-8, that means our browser is going to understand, this guy is supporting every word, every language, not just English language. Okay. Then I can now save this. Now, even if I save it, you will not see any difference. Nothing at all. There's no difference because it's not in the body. Okay, but these things are doing something for us under the hood. Okay, just to make sure that everything is going to work perfectly fine. Okay, meta, character set of what? UTF-8. Very, very important. Then after that one, we also have what? Under meta. Okay, now in this meta, we want to pass what? Pass keyword. Just the same way I search for NextCollege. Okay, those are actually keywords. Next what and college. And Google was able to search our document and actually find us in a particular web page. Okay, that means you can also pass keywords, and Google should be able to also provide our document when it's being searched over the time. Okay, now this meta, I'm going to give it a name. The name is going to be what? Keywords. Okay, so that is the name. I'm telling Google or any other browser that this is what is for keyword. Then what is our content and password? Content. Content is going to be what? I just say HTML. Then just let me say put comma space CSS and JavaScript. Okay, I can save this. Now I put keywords, which is what? HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Once someone comes to the Chrome browser or any browser at all, and person is searching for CSS, JavaScript, and HTML, okay, we are going to possibly be recruited by what? By Google, because we actually added this as our keyword when it is being searched. Okay, so that is the most important thing here. So you have a meta tag for character sets. You also have a meta tag for a keyword, which is what? HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay, is there any question concerning these are character sets and these are our keywords? Is there any question at all? Can you guys hear me? All right, okay. Okay, that's good. So that means I can actually move on. All right, that's good. That's good. Then move on to the next one, okay, which is what? Which is meta, under meta. Okay, it's not meta of Facebook. Okay, so meta. In this meta, we want to actually talk about what this platform. We want to just describe the platform. This one is no longer keyword. We want to just describe the platform. Okay, that you're going to give it a name, and the name is just going to be your description. And what is going to be the content? Okay, NextCollege free class on HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I can just save this. All right, so you have our meta, and this one is for what? Description, and the content is going to be NextCollege free class on HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Very, very simple. So once you're able to understand what all this is doing, you can easily implement it in your own code. Okay, so this meta is for description, this one is for keywords, and this one is for what? For our character sets. Then you can still move on to the next one. So you have meta again. Okay, And in this one, we are going to talk about the author of what this platform. Okay, I can pass what I can pass the name. It's going to be what author. Then I can pass the content, which is going to be my name is Augustine David. So I can just pass Augustine David. Then I can now save this. Good and fine. Nothing is showing the web page because this is what in the head. Okay, and that is what for our meta. Then there's another one that is being used, but it's not used up to now. It's used before. You know, before the web reached to this particular Web3, okay, there was a time when things were actually very hard. Even to refresh page, all right, you have to put a tag. And all these things are being done by JavaScript now. There are some things you need to just write in your code, and automatically some things can be refreshed, fetch some data again for you. We are going to discuss all these things over the time. Now, there is something important they actually added in our table head, and this is what we call an equivalent to refresher, and they call it refresh or HTTP equiv. This helps us to refresh our page based on what the time in seconds we actually inputted there. Okay, so that means there is something you can put inside our table head in our head, HTML head, and automatically this site will be refreshed every minute or every seconds, every 30 seconds, every 10 seconds. Is going to be is going to be refreshed. So the time is based on seconds. So you can just multiply them and convert it to minutes or to hours. Now, how can we actually add it? It's still making use of meta and pass meta. Okay. Now, in this meta, there's what we call HTTP equiv. HTTP equiv, and this equiv is going to be called refresh. We want to refresh our HTTP request continuously. So I can just say refresh. Okay. Then after it's our refresh, then the next thing is going to be the content. Okay. So what's our content? Now we now pass how many seconds we want this thing to stay before refreshing. Now I want to make it 10 seconds. Then save this. Then come to my site. Let's just watch and see what happens here. So it's refreshing. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's actually refreshing. Every 10 seconds, the page just refresh or kind of reload every 10 seconds. I know you may not be able to see it there, but if you're writing your own code, you can't be able to expand this my tab. I can only expand the center here. I can't expand the tab. Okay, so you'll be seeing it like shaking every 10 seconds. You just shake. So just shake. Okay. That means it's actually refreshing the HTML page continuously every 10 seconds. Okay, and the thing we use here is a meta tag with refresh. Okay, once we pass it here, it's going to refresh your page every 10 seconds. You can pass on 1 hour, 5 seconds, or thereabouts when you are practicing this class. Okay, so is there any question concerning our meta tags we have used so far? Okay, you can go on, please.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can ask your question, please.
Is it compulsory that we must put everything you are putting in this meta? Is it compulsory? The way you are analyzing all the meta, is it compulsory? Or we just only put a few ones? Or we are going to put it in, maybe we are coding about this thing. Are we going to be putting like this when we are creating our own?
All right. Okay, you asked a very nice question. I'll tell you the truth. All programmers are lazy. Me too. I can't even come and putting all these things continuously. Okay, and I'm going to teach you guys. There is a snippet that you can use to create the base of your HTML. All right. And you don't really need to start adding all these important things. And to tell you the truth, when you want your site to be noticeable everywhere, okay, that means you are going to start coming back to start adding all those things small. But this snippet is going to help us do what? To create the template of our HTML without us trying to cram all these things. You have to create HTML, opening tag, closing tag, head, and body. Okay, because these things are things that are repeated continuously. So that means there should be a way or a snippet we can just run. Once we run it, automatically we can be able to do what? To create all these templates without any issue. Okay, so what you are going to do is this. So I'm just going to run about talk about it now. Before I talk about it, is there any question concerning this this our head before I talk about it now? So I'm going to clear this. Is there any question at all? All right, okay. So there is no question. Now I'm just going to remove everything we have here. Okay. Now let's just assume that this is a new what? A new file. You want to start writing your HTML in this file. Okay. And you haven't forgotten how to even start with the templates, the HTML, body, head, and thereabouts. And some of all this meta tag. That means you have to what? You have to start afresh to do all those things. What you are going to do, once you are in your VS Code, you hold the Shift tab, then 1. Okay, Shift tab, hold it and press 1 in your keyboard. Once you press 1 in your keyboard, you're going to see this thing. You're going to see exclamation mark and 3 exclamation mark. Just click on enter in that 1 exclamation mark. Click on enter. So once I click on enter, you can see what's happened here. You can see that automatically I was able to generate some things that you have been learning so far. The first one is that meta tag. Okay, and this one also, I even forgot, this one also very, very important. So these two, because they are very, very important for us, that is why it's being generated automatically. Because now you must tell the browser that you are supporting every language. And another one, tell the browser that CO, make sure that this my site is not only for desktop, because automatically by default HTML is for desktop. Okay, before we start having phone, before 20, let me say 2005 and thereabout, don't have smartphone now. Don't have smartphone by that time. That should be around 2007. That's iPhone actually launched, and from there start seeing some Android and thereabout. Okay, but before then, don't have those things. And our computer have been existing right from time. That means all these are HTML and thereabout. It's meant for what? Computer. But now we have mobile phone, we even have smartwatch. All these things can browse. Okay. Now we can tell our HTML, our browser, CO, adapt to any width based on the device we are actually using. Okay, adapt to any width based on the design you actually want, the device you're actually making use of. Now we now say the name here is viewport. Viewport means the size of the screen. Okay, the size what of the screen. Then content here means what the width that you are going to be talking about is going to be the width of what the device. That is device dash what dash width. The width of what the device. Then we now say initial scale is going to be what? 1.0. Initial scale, it means there that if I come to this my browser, okay, and I'm browsing through something, okay, I can now say, okay, I want to zoom it. I have to expand it. Now I can now see, so the scale is no longer 1. Maybe this scale may even be 100 or thereabout, or 30. Okay, so I'm telling the browser, now don't scale up anything. The initial scale is just going to be how it's meant to be. Then it's left for the user to zoom in the way you want or thereabout. Okay, now this is the base HTML template that you can use to do anything that you actually want. it actually works. Okay, do you understand this? Rodion. Sorry if I don't pronounce your name well. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, okay. Now we are able to talk about all these things and all this tag and thereabouts. Okay, and over the time we are going to learn how we are going to use all these things continuously. Okay, let me just talk on the last one, on the last thing we have in our head before we call it a day. Okay, now let's just assume we have what a p tag here. I can now say my name is David. Okay, let me just stretch this, close this. All right, okay, my name is David. You guys can see, remember that we can easily do what? We can easily write an attribute in this word, in this our p tag. Even though I taught you guys some things about attributes, especially writing a style, okay, in what? In our documents, change the color of our text and thereabout. Can be able to make use of what? To style to achieve that as an attribute, okay? But all these things will be learned very well, very well in your next week class about what CSS. You're going to enjoy that class, okay? So I can just pass here style. Okay, style. So my style here is color. I want to change the color of that text to what? To red. Okay, I'm saying this is my style, and I want you to change the color of this my text from black to what? To red. So I can save this. You can see we have my name is what? Is David. So that means I'm adding what? I'm adding what? Style here. And the style here is just to change the color from this basic black to what? To red. Now, there is a way we can be able to do this in our head without us involving what? Passing this style directly in this our p tag. I can come here and create what? Create a style here. Okay, in the head. I just create a style in the head. Then I can go ahead and say, oh, I want to style this my p tag. I'm just going to remove this. So if I save this, the style is gone. I can now say I want to what? Style this my p tag. Okay, I can just pass p because I want to actually work on this p tag here. So I can just pass p, then open this my curly braces, then say color is going to be what? Is going to be red. Then I can now save this. You can see the same effect. The same effect. There is no difference. And this style is actually what? Existing in the head and not in the body. It's basically existing in the head and not in the body. Okay? And that is how we can be able to do what? To pass a style in our head. And there's still a way in your next class, the guy will be teaching you guys on how you can connect to external file for you to write your CSS. Making use of what? Making use of a link. Okay? That's what we call link, a link tag that you can use to connect to what? To your CSS. Okay, so is there any question right from the beginning of our class in HTML, okay, till now? Because now you guys are now going very deeper in HTML. And over the time, when we are done learning CSS, we can now be able to combine all these things. Okay, Ifosa.
Sir, the star you added as the head, will it affect all the from the body now? Will it affect all the p, like all the sentences that will be written on the body? This red star, will it affect all of them because the star was applied to the top? So is it going to be all the sentences that we're going to write, or just this first star? This my name is David, that's going to affect this red color.
All right, okay, you asked a very nice question. Now, this is what happens. No, the reason why I just use this because it's just for us to learn about a style in the head. We don't make use of a general style unless in some purpose you want to do that. All these things are things you are going to learn in next class. Now, this P tag I passed here, it's going to affect every other p tag that we have. So if I pass another p tag here and say another one and save it. So you can see you see have red here. But if I pass, let me say h1, let me say h2, nothing. Let me say nothing here and save. Now you can see we have what? We have black here. That means it's only all the p tag. This is targeting all the p tag in this document and it's going to what? Affect them. Okay, in your next class, we are going to learn how you can make use of classes or ID to target just a particular what? A particular one and not to target all the p tag. Okay, so all those things are going to be taught in your CSS what? CSS class. And I encourage you guys to make sure you join that CSS class for you to what? For you to learn well. Okay. So any other question? Okay, Josephine.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
So is it possible that you write your code inside your VS Code and it's not reflecting in your browser?
Reflecting in your browser, that means you have to refresh it or it not open it very well. Do you use live server?
Yes, the live server is on, and then you'll try refreshing it, but it's not reflecting in the browser.
Did you open the document before you click on that live server?
Yes.
But before you used to open it directly from that file, right?
Yes, I'll just open it directly from the file. Then it will show on my browser. Then anything I do, I just refresh it to reflect on the browser.
Okay, but now you use live server and it's not refreshing when you are
Yes,
using.
it's not refreshing and it's not reflecting on the.
Okay, but the initial one, the initial time you clicked on it to open in the browser, it's opened.
Yes.
And the information you passed in the body is not displaying at all.
Yes, but it's just from a certain point to, like from this night section that I started teaching us on how to create a table. That's the point that is not reflecting, but the other ones that we treated the other 2 days is reflecting.
It's reflecting. That means there's something wrong maybe in that particular file. Okay, maybe you should just try and close it and open it again. Okay, maybe
Okay.
it's going to work. Since it's working on that file, so it's meant to work in that file also.
Okay, sir.
All right, okay. Any other question, please, from you guys? All right, okay. Now, Miss, if there is no other question, that should be the end of the class
Please,
today.
I have a question.
Okay, Jason.
Please, the saving that you are doing in that VS Code, is it Control S?
Yes, Control S, and let me also explain this. Okay, Control S, I'm making use of Control X, but there is a way in which you can make it to be auto save. Any change you are making, you don't need to save it again and again and again. All right, and that is you just coming here, click on File. They are going to see auto save. Okay, auto save. Click on auto save. And automatically, anything you are typing here, all right, is saving automatically for you. Okay, automatically is being saved for you. You don't need to start saving it again. Automatically, everything is being saved. Now, if I zoom this a little bit, okay, zoom it this way, then go to that my file. If I go to my file now, then that's auto save. Where is auto save again? So you can auto save is on here. Let me just remove it. Then come to this my file, just type something. So if I'm typing something, you're going to see a dot here. So this dot, this white dot here means that I'm not saving anything yet. But once I just save, just look at that dot. If I just save, it's going to now show a cancel, which means that I've saved this particular file. All right. Then if I remove this and just decide to make use of auto save, okay, click on this file, click on auto save. Then automatically, anything I'm typing, you will never see that white circle there because things will be saved automatically for you. So if I type something here, you never see that white circle. It saves automatically for you. Okay, so that is the best, especially when we are not teaching people. Okay, because if I'm making that auto save, any small change I just made is going to automatically save and it's going to be distracting my class. Okay, so that is why I'm just making use of manual saving instead of what? Instead of auto save. So for you, as you are learning, you can make use of auto save. Okay, any other question?
Okay, thank you. Please, I have another question.
All right.
Assuming that you want to save in your browser, like in that live server, you want to save that stuff, and at a point you do not, like, after saving it, at a point you do not see that thing again. Is it possible? Like, I don't know. There's one thing I did. I saved it. At the point I didn't see the file again.
Didn't see the file again. You deleted the file.
No, I didn't do anything. I just came to that my what's it called? My file. So I went to
Yes.
my website to look for it. I didn't see it again.
That means probably I've deleted the file because the thing that is showing in your browser is just your file. I told you guys in the last class, I think our Monday class, our Tuesday class, that everything you are doing is just from the file. That is where the information is being rendered in what? In your browser. Your browser cannot save anything. Yeah. So once you close your file or you have lost your file, there is nothing the browser can do for you. Do you understand this?
Sorry, I didn't get.
I said that once you have lost a file, because what's happened in your own is that you have lost that particular file, and the browser cannot help you with anything in terms of that. That information that is being rendered in the browser is basically from an existing file. So once the file is no longer there, then there is no way you can be able to render information there. I don't know if you are getting my point.
Okay, okay. All right, thank you, sir.
All right, you're welcome. Okay, any other questions so far? All right. Okay, so there is no other question. I think we can call it a day now and see you guys in our next class Tuesday next week. Okay, have a good night's rest. Josephine, you have any question? Okay. Chisom,
Sir?
do you have any question?
No, sir. No, sir.
All right, okay. See you guys.